Dragon Age 2 was not supposed to be Dragon Age 2. It was meant to be a spin-off, but unfortunately BioWare was forced to name it Dragon Age 2 and rush the project. Now, I don't blame BioWare at all, but I will say a majority of the issues I have with this game come from those things. And this one is usually regarded as the worst of the Dragon Age games. Despite all that, I really fucking love this game. I think it's amazing, and I might happen to like it more than Origins, which I know is a controversial take, but let's fucking get into it, alright? It starts off with a dwarf named Varric being interrogated by a woman named Cassandra. This is used as a narrative device to tell the story of what happened throughout the game. Now, we play as Garrett Hawk, who's supposed to be like 20, but I made my Garrett old as shit, because I thought he looked good with white hair, but he's still, I guess, canonically 20, he just looks 60. Now, Garrett is traveling with his sister Bethany and his brother Carver and his mother Leandra. This is taking place during the Blight from Dragon Age Origins, so they're trying to flee the Darkspawn and leave Ferelden. Right away you can see a slight art style shift, and for the most part I like it. I just think I happen to like the look of the OG Darkspawn better, but every other change I'm really down with. Combat is different here too. It's so much more fun and fluid. If you like the slow-paced, more tactical ways of Origins, that's fine too. I guess I wouldn't say this is better, it's just different and I happen to like it better. It still has the same elements of Origins, it's just faster. And you do lose a lot of options, especially for mages. Like, I think the magic system is not as fun here as it was in Origins. But in return, we have some things become more balanced and a fighting system that feels closer to a hack and slash kind of game. Now we're off to Kirkwall. It's where our mother grew up and she's hoping we still have an estate there. Now for this run, I made a Garrett two-handed fighter, which is something I almost never am in games, so it was a fun test being a heavy weapon two-handed fighter. We come across a woman named Aveline and her husband Wesley, who is a Templar. They are fighting off Darkspawn, but then they see my sister Bethany. Bethany is a mage who has never been in the circle, making her an apostate. And as you may recall, mages are supposed to be in the circle, so Wesley the Templar is not happy about this.
That woman is an apostate. The Order dictates.
Dear, they saved us. The Maker understands.
Of course.
I am Aveline Valenne. This is my husband, Sir Wesley. We can hate each other when we're safe from the Horde.
Aveline joins our party and we continue fighting Darkspawn. Our brother Carter then dies to an ogre.
You soulless bastards!
We then continue fighting Darkspawn and a fucking dragon shows up and rescues us. But it's not a dragon at all. It's Flemeth from the first game. She's not dead after all and she looks so much fucking cooler here. She offers us safe passage through the Darkspawn if we do a favor for her by delivering something for her when we reach Kirkwall. Everyone is saying, don't trust her, she's the Witch of the Wilds. But what choice do we have? We just lost Carver, and now Wesley the Templar is dying from the Blight.
She's right, Aveline. I can feel the corruption inside me.
We can't afford that kind of liability.
No!
Aveline, listen to me.
You can't ask me this. I won't.
Please. The corruption is a slow death. I can't.
Yeah, maybe next time don't threaten my sister, bitch. At last we arrive on the boat to Kirkwall. A Upon getting there, we find out there are too many refugees fleeing here, and that they're not letting anyone in. After many days of waiting and not being let into our city, our Uncle Gamlen finally comes out to get us. Gamlen says he lost the estate and all of our money and has no idea if he can get us into the city. But he said he knows someone who would pay to get us in. We would just have to work for them for free for a year to pay off the debt. And that's pretty fucking shitty, but unfortunately we don't have a choice. So we'll crash in Gamlen's house and we'll be this guy's hired hands for a year. Mother doesn't have to though, for some reason, just me, Bethany, and Aveline. After that, a whole year passes. Neria from the first game has defeated the Blight. A bunch of Qunari got shipwrecked at Kirkwall, and we have paid off our debt and are now free. We have no money to our name and nothing to show for it. So, we start bothering this dwarf who's planning to go to the Deep Roads for treasure, but he refuses to take us. But then we happen to meet Varric, a crossbow-wielding dwarf who is the brother of the one who wants to go on the Deep Roads. Now, Varric says he can get us on that expedition as his partner if we can gather up 50 gold. He's also a badass and a pretty cool character, and he joins us as a companion. Aveline has taken up working as a guard here, but she still joins us on missions if we ask her. She asked us to join her in going after some caravan robbing highwaymen when we have the time, and of course I say yes.
Hey everybody, it's Gage here. I personally agree with the majority of players that Dragon Age 2 isn't quite as good as Origins or Inquisition, and that mostly boils down to mechanical preferences, reused assets, and Dragon Age 2 having fewer meaningful player choices than the other games. Starting at the very beginning with character creation. Origins lets you choose between 3 different races and 3 different classes and 6 different starting levels to play through based on your race and class. And Inquisition gives you 4 races to choose from, with Dragon Age 2 being the only game that restricts you to playing as a human. I will say either Carver or Bethany will always die in the intro, and the one that bites it depends on whether or not you are playing as a mage, and the siblings are different enough to do a second playthrough to experience both of them as party members. But aside from that, this Dragon Age, in my opinion, has the lowest replayability value. All that said, this is still a great game, and I understand that BioWare had severe time constraints and wanted to deliver a story that focused on the player character living their life, instead of the world-ending stakes of the other games.
So we deal with raiders, and her captain congratulates her.
How they do it where you're from, guardswoman, but I decide the patrols, not you and your whims. You may have been put up for lieutenant in your first year, but I'll have no show-offs in my command. Have I made myself clear? Report to your post before I have you and your Ferelden accomplice jailed.
A lot of yelling for doing him a favor.
We killed a band of highwaymen. What does it matter whose patrol it was? It's not the first time he's made me wonder like this. Something is very wrong.
So we talk to the guard whose route it was, and she thanks us because otherwise she would have been dead. She was supposed to do a delivery that same day those raiders showed up, and it was an unusual delivery. Seems like something's going on there, so we decide to check into it even more, despite what the captain said. We find the next route for the delivery, and sure enough, a bunch of raiders are there, attacking a guardsman named Donick who we rescue.
Who? Aveline? You're a beautiful sight.
Guardsman.
The seal of the Viscount. Office details. City accounts.
Valuable to a guild of thieves.
A sacrificial delivery with one of our own. Captain Jevon will answer.
And then we stop back home to check on family affairs.
Why was nothing set aside for us, Uncle?
Your mother was supposed to marry the Comte de Launcey, and instead she ran off with some Ferelden apostate. You don't get to stay the favorite when you do that.
Where is Father's will? If I could just see for myself.
It's not here, all right? It was read, it went in the vault. No one needed to look at it again.
I hate thinking badly of family. But did Uncle Gamlen seem a little slippery when he talked about Grandfather's will? If he, say, invested money that was meant to be Mother's, do you think he would tell us?
I want what's ours.
Good. I'm glad we agree. Gamlen told me he gave the estate as payment to some slaver who beat him at dice. Apparently, our ancestral home is now a base for slavers from all over Thedas.
Good. Then we can break in. And I don't care if we kill them.
We also have a dog again, a Mabari who I thought about naming Barry again, but since Neria already had a Barry, this time we call this dog Barrison Ford. Now Barrison works a little different than in Dragon Age 1. Rather than be a companion, he is now an animal I can summon. Kinda like how Liliana could summon a giant spider in the first game. Now back to Aveline's quest, we turn in her commander to the Viscount, and he gets fired for his actions, and Aveline becomes the new captain of the guard, and good for her, she deserves it. We talk to Aveline about how she's doing, and she says she misses Wesley, but that she's doing fine. Next we meet a character named Sebastian. He's pinning up a reward to take out a group of assassins who took out his family. So we put that on our to-do list. Now, unlike in Dragon Age 1, where we have so many different areas, and we usually don't go back to them, so it helps me write better, in Dragon Age 2, not only is there not a ton of places, but you see assets get reused over and over again. And I completely understand why this happened, because they did not have enough time. However, this meant sometimes I would just do the quests in one area, and then bounce to the quests in the next area, making the narrative of the story seemed like it was written by someone with bad ADD. So while I do jump all over the place, I will do my best to make it not feel that way, and eventually I just learned to focus on one quest at a time rather than the ones in that particular area. Next we meet some Dalish. Now the elves have been reworked and are more small and slender with bigger eyes, and again I like this change. Now we are at a Dalish camp because we are looking to deliver the amulet Flemeth wanted us to. We meet Meryl. She's a Dalish elf who's a bit dumb and practices blood magic, and a lot of people don't like her because of this. But what she lacks in brain cells, she makes up for with heart, because she's really kind. She helps lead us to where we need to go with the amulet. And once we get there, kaboo! Flemeth was in the amulet the whole time. Does this mean she was waiting for a whole ass year in there? Maybe.
So refreshing to see someone who keeps their end of a bargain. I half expected my amulet to end up in a merchant's pocket.
I agreed to deliver the amulet, though you could have told me you were inside it.
Just a piece. A small piece, but it was all I needed. A bit of security, should the inevitable occur. And if I know my Morrigan, it already has.
Is that someone I should know?
She's a girl who thinks she knows what is what better than I or anyone. And why not? I raised her to be as she is. I cannot expect her to be less.
I'm not sure whether she's your daughter or your enemy.
Neither is she.
Anyway, nobody wanted Meryl due to her dangerous blood magic habits. So, she ends up leaving the Dalish to join us. And we find her a home in the alienage of Kirkwall. Also, we took out the assassins who killed Sebastian's family, and he tells us how his family used to be the rulers of a place called Starkhaven, but they were killed, and he is what is left, and he isn't sure who hired these assassins. We then kill some slavers and find our grandfather's will.
We found the will.
He forgave you, Mother. Grandfather left you everything. Here, read it.
I should... maybe...
To my daughter Leandra, and all children born of her, the estate in Hightown and all associated revenues.
What do you have to say for yourself? You're the one who ran away, Leandra. What happened to love is so much more important than money.
It is!
You didn't even come home for the funeral.
The twins were a week old.
We all have our burdens. Mine was looking after a life you abandoned. How long was I supposed to wait?
Unfortunately, we can't just outright kill Gamlen, which is a shame and would have made the game better.
I can't believe Gamlen stole Mother's entire inheritance. I mean, I can believe it. That's the worst part. I would never turn against you.
You're a better person than Gamlen could ever be.
Well, hopefully we'll be out of here soon. You know, when we went to look for that will, I thought we were doing it for Mother, for what she lost. I didn't realize how much it would mean to me. To know I had grandparents who didn't hate me.
Are you unhappy here?
I wish I could do more for Mother. Carver's death. It's killing her slowly every day. But maybe if we can reclaim some of what she lost, it will help. I'd do anything to get us back a normal life.
We're going to make this our home, Bethany. I promise you.
I hope so, brother. I'm so very tired of running. How come you and Wesley never had children? I mean, sorry if that's too personal.
It's all right. I was a soldier and he was a Templar. We knew that our personal lives would have to wait. Distance never mattered. But we ran out of time. It is what it is.
Now that he's gone, do you ever wish?
That's too personal.
When I told your grandmother I was marrying your father, she threatened to disown me. She said my children would be mongrels. My father wanted to lock me in, but she told him it's her life, let her ruin it. I wrote to her when each of you were born. She never wrote back. I'm glad she didn't die hating me.
Grandmother didn't want you to leave. She tried holding on to you the only way she knew.
She would have been so proud of you. You're everything she wanted in an Amell grandchild. She might have had a hard time accepting it at first, but she would have loved you, all three of you. Carver. He was such a little boy. Never had a knee that wasn't scraped or trousers without holes.
The last thing Carver would want is more crying.
I just keep thinking there's something we could have done. It's killing me. I remember that awful creature reaching down and 18 years of loving and feeding and raising, and that was it.
Blame the Darkspawn, not yourself.
The ogre would have been happy with any prey. It was my fault it was Carver. I miss him. There were 4 of us when the Blight began. It will never be over while there are just 3. I've written to the Viscount. I've an audience for after Bartrand's expedition leaves. I couldn't do anything for Carver, but with luck, I could at least give us a home.
Honestly, having a family in this game is pretty nice. There aren't many games where you have a family that isn't just dead. Like, sure, my father and brother are dead, but I got a sister and a mother, and it's really nice. I find myself wanting to take care of them and to kill Gamlen. We meet a dwarf who wants our help to kill Tal-Vasha. These are Qunari who have left the Qun, which is a lot of words that I will just explain later. Anyway, he wants us to kill them because he is hoping the Qunari will give him the secrets to some explosives if they are dead, so he promises to pay us. We also go after a boy who knows magic but didn't want to go to the Circle. We rescue him from those who want to kill him, and we take him to the Dalish, who end up accepting him into their group. And honestly, living with the Dalish is way better than living with the Circle. Alright, so let's talk Qunari. So Qunari believe in something called the Qun. This is their way of life. Basically, the Qun is following the role you were given forever. If you were given the role of warrior, then you can be nothing else, you are a warrior. If you are a cook, you can be nothing else, you are a cook. Everyone has their roles and has to follow their roles, not just work-wise, but also socially. Now, Tal-Vasha are Qunari who have left the Qun and are seen as traitors for not following their roles. We get hired to kill them, and we could turn this down, but Hawk is a mercenary, and he currently only cares about 2 things: providing and protecting friends and family, and getting out of poverty. So, things like, is it morally right to kill the Tal-Vasha? Are not things he's contemplating at this time. We check back on our family, and for some reason, I'm still not allowed to kill Gamlen.
All that noisy dog breath, day in, day out, make him stop.
He doesn't sweat like we do, and it's stuffy in here. You could open a window.
There, isn't that annoying? Blight take you.
Also, guess who's here in town? Holy shit, it's Bodan and Sandal.
Enchantment?
We then go talk to the Qunari about that dwarf who wanted explosives. Now this place is heavily guarded and the Qunari are very intimidating. This is a far better look than they were given in the first game, and their leader, the Arashok, looks badass as hell.
Illustrious Arashok, I am here to report that your hated Talvashoth were felled, one and all. Right? Yes, they were. So, I'm ready to open negotiations for the explosive powder, as we agreed.
No, there is no bargain to honor. His offer for the Gatlock was refused, so he invented a task to prove his worth, when he has none.
I broke my beard getting your outcasts killed.
But he still has his beard. Do you think it hurts?
You hired someone more competent and now stand in their shadow pretending it is yours. You demean his accomplishment. Get out of my sight before I bother lifting my sword.
We also get hired to kill the last of the Haramont family, which if you recall was the family who lost the dwarf vote in the first game. And now we have slaughtered the last of them. We then go visit Meryl at her place to see how she's getting along, and she has a new home. She's awkward and she's sweet, and she's apparently romanceable, but I could not imagine. Like, I know she's an adult, but how she acts and talks is not the brightest. She does not have the maturity of an adult. She feels like a kid, if that makes sense. Like, yes, she's an adult, but in my head, she's like 12 years old, you know? So yeah, I think I'd feel real gross romancing her, and I'm just kind of treating her as a friend. We also happen to meet the Viscount's son. He was hanging out with the Qunari because he has a fascination with them. The Viscount wants him back and has sent different parties to bring him back.
And the world's rid of one more Qunari. Easier than I expected.
Ashad! You killed him! You Vashedan bitch!
That one of their words. See, that's why you need to be dragged home. You're playing too nice with those things. I'll wager you've gone even further than that. Haven't you, brat?
Nice work, but I'll take it from here.
Competition? Well, you're too late. The Winters, I, have already claimed him.
Sirrah, if I must go back, so be it. But I will not see these murderers rewarded.
Spoiled shit! I'll cut out your tongue and charge extra for bringing you back quiet. And as for you, I could do with some entertainment while we wait for the others.
I then help some mages get away. Now, the Templar who I helped them get away from was actually kind and merciful and didn't really want them captured by these other Templars, right? Because he knew what kind of shit was going to happen. So I let them get away and I pretend that I killed them. But that doesn't go over super well with the other Templars. They don't believe me whatsoever, and so we have to fight them and kill them. Including that one Templar who has basically chosen his place now, and he is going to fight against Templars, which I'm sure was a very hard choice to make as he is a Templar. But you see, Hawke is very pro-mage, because his sister Bethany is a mage and his father is a mage, and Templars would be more than happy to strike her down. So it's a very important issue to Hawke, and he's very pro-mage and very anti-Templar. We then meet Anders, and you remember Anders from Dragon Age Origins Awakening. He is now running a free clinic to help heal people.
I'm just here to talk.
Of what?
The Deep Roads.
Did the Warden send you to bring me back? I'm not going. Those bastards made me get rid of my cat. Poor Sir Pouncelot. He hated the deep roads.
You had a cat named Sir Pouncelot? In the deep roads?
He was a gift. A noble beast. Almost got ripped in half by a Genlock once. He swatted the bugger on the nose. Drew blood, too. The blighted warden said he made me too soft. I had to give him to a friend in Amaranthine. I came to Kirkwall to aid a friend. A mage. A prisoner in the wretched gallows. The Templars learned of my plans to free him. Help me bring him safely past them, and you shall have your maps.
So we go to see his friend, and unfortunately he has been forced into tranquility by the Templars. And this causes Anders a bit of distress.
Anders, I know you too well. I knew you would never give up.
What's wrong? Why are you talking like...
I was too rebellious, like you. The Templars knew I had to be... made an example of.
No!
How else will mages ever master themselves? You'll understand, Anders. As soon as the Templars teach you to control yourself. This is the apostate.
No!
You will never take another mage as you took him.
So it turns out that Justice from the first game, who if you recall was a spirit from the Fade and a companion of Neria, ended up leaving the body he had possessed. Anders had instead offered him his body so they could fight together against mage oppression. But now they are as one being, and there's no telling where Anders begins and Justice ends. They are both one. But it can be very apparent when Justice has taken over, like right there when he got all blue and glowy. Now Justice and Anders are both different from having been with each other and experiencing immense anger towards how mages are treated. Justice isn't quite the Justice he used to be, and neither is Anders.
So, you were in the circle and ran away? I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do that.
You've been an apostate your whole life.
Exactly. It was never anything I had to work for. Other people always took the risks to keep me free.
Where did you learn your magic? I mean, you know my feelings on the circle, but usually it's the only decent training a mage can get.
My father taught me. He was in the circle once, trained there. But he got away.
You don't know how lucky you were to have someone who loved you and could help you. Most mages would kill for that.
You remind me of him.
Off we go to a bar where we see Zevron's friend Isabella from the first game. She's in the bar kicking the ass of some people trying to get money off her. She wants to hire us. She's going to fight someone in a duel, but she expects him not to come alone and to cheat, so she wants us to go with her to ward off the other men, and we agree. Also, by the way, Anders is a party member, so we have Anders, Bethany, and Meryl as the team, which is an all-mage group. And I will say, mages are not as powerful here as it was in Origins, especially in healing spells. The wait time is far longer and there is less of them. On top of that, out of those three mages, only Anders can do a group revive or a group heal. We then deal with a sister from the Chantry, Sister Patrice. Unlike other sisters, she's a bitch-ass, slimy, shady motherfucker. She lies out her face as much as some politicians, and she's a no-good, two-faced, backstabbing, low-down son of a bitch. She asks us if we'll help this Qunari mage, who has been treated brutally and tortured and restrained in such a way that it's quite sad. This is the role of a Qunari mage. They are treated less than and are more of weapons than people. She says he's Tel-Vasha, and if the Qunari catch him, he will be killed, and she asks us to help him escape. Not only does this seem noble, but it appears to Hawke's sense of help protect mages. But, like I said, I already told you this is a shady bitch. She doesn't do a good job hiding it, and she's chilling with a Templar as this is happening, so I know something's going on. Even so, we still decide to help him. He also doesn't say anything to us, but Also, his mouth has been sewn shut, so I guess if my mouth was sewn shut, I probably wouldn't be saying much either. So we go outside with him, and what do you know? It's a trap. Who could have seen that coming?
We leash Cerebos because they are dangerous and contagious. Not even your Templars fully grasp that threat.
Are mages like Anders so dangerous? He's given no reason to fear him yet.
You waste your breath. He'll never tolerate my kind.
It is a shame. We're nice people. I couldn't agree more.
You are Cerebos? Boss Cerebos? Vashedan! Nera Setar Karasam! You spewed your words at me like a demon trying to poison my control. Like this mage, the Cune requires your death.
But we're no threat to each other.
Boss Cerebos, you will be no threat to anyone.
Here we go!
Next we meet Fenris. This is another possible companion, and he's pretty cool looking. He's an elf who, when we first meet, he's just killing slavers. We also join him to kill a mage of the Tevinter Imperium. Now yes, we are super pro mage, but that doesn't mean we don't kill bad mages. Hawke is more so saying mages should have freedom and not be made tranquil, and he is not saying never harm a mage. Sometimes harm a mage. I mean, at this point, we've already killed a few blood mages. And yes, Meryl is a blood mage, but she's also dumb as a bag of rocks, and we are hoping we can fix her. Okay, well, maybe not we, because my team doesn't seem to like her much, but I guess, Hawke is hoping he can fix her. Anyway, we go into fighting a ton of demons, which is a good sign we are going after a blood mage. Unfortunately, this blood mage gets away, though.
I saw you casting spells inside. I should have realized sooner what you really were. You harbor a viper in your midst. It will turn on you and strike when you least expect. That is in its nature.
My sister is stronger than you think.
You tell him, brother.
And she isn't the only one.
I'm not blind. I know magic has its uses, and there are undoubtedly mages with good intentions. But even the best-intentioned mage can fall prey to temptation. And then their power is a curse to inflict upon others.
No one's stopping you from moving on, you know.
Are you going to have a problem with my companions?
I will watch them carefully if we travel together. I can promise no more.
I think it's time for us to part ways.
As you wish. Benavis Vidari, may the ground rise to meet your feet.
And look, he seems pretty cool. Maybe on a different run I'd take him. And he's probably a good companion if you're doing like a Templar run. But as I'm a pro mage, it seems like he might cause issues with my buddies, and I'd prefer him to not be around if that's the case. Well, now is the time to help Isabella like we said we would. So she's being hunted by this guy named Castion. He has a bunch of men hunting her, so we kill them all.
What's this about you freeing slaves?
I was asked to escort Castion's cargo ship. I got a bad feeling about the job partway through. Boarded the ship to find slaves. Nearly 200. Elves, humans, children even. It was sickening. They paid Castion to take them away from the Blight. He took their money and sold them into slavery. Even I can see that's wrong.
Now I'll be honest, this does seem a bit strange because this is one of the only times I see Isabella do something not for herself or for a lover. Usually, she has no opinions on things that don't involve sex, money, and ships. She says she's shallow in like a joking way, but I really don't think it's a joke. Like 99% of the time, she only has sex, money, and ships on the mind. That's really it.
You've been with women in bed?
I know. Shocking, isn't it? You see, Sweetness, men are only good for one thing. Women are good for 6.
6? Which 6?
Isabella? I'm not a raider anymore, Isabella. I'm just an honest merchant now.
Please, Martin. You wouldn't know honest if I tied you up and spanked you with it.
Isabella, you never talk about the Mage's plight.
What's there to say?
There's plenty to say.
And you say enough for the lot of us, don't you think?
So you're telling me you have no opinion on the matter?
None whatsoever.
That can't be true.
No, I'm afraid I'm really this shallow.
That book you were reading this morning, Hessarian's Spear. I don't think he had a spear in the legends.
He does in this one. Read the description.
Andraste knelt before no man but her maker. But she hadn't counted on the Archon Hessarian. Can Hessarian penetrate the tight-knit defenses of the warrior prophetess? Will she be prepared to face the full blast of his power? Wait a minute. Isabella, this is a vulgar thing.
You want to borrow it?
No!
You sure? It has pictures.
I keep thinking I know you from somewhere.
You're Ferelden, right? Ever spend time at the Pearl?
That's it. You used to really like that girl with the griffin tattoos, right? What was her name?
The Ley Warden?
That's right. I think you were there the night I...
Oh! Were you the runaway mage who could do that electricity thing? That was nice.
Please stop talking now.
We also agree to help a woman save her brother. You see, there's this woman named Knight Commander Meredith who runs the Templars, and it seems under her things are very strict against mages, including making some of them tranquil and branding their forehead with the Chantry symbol. That's what happened to Anders' friend earlier. We also see Cullen from the first game. He is dealing with the Possessed Templar, which is new, but I suppose anyone who can enter the Fade can also become demon-possessed. We finally find our suspect of who we think is causing the Templars to get possessed. It turns out to be a sex worker who may have some magical powers.
Stop playing dumb. Answer my question.
Oh, we like it rough, do we? Questions are boring. Why don't we have some real fun?
Are you certain we can't postpone this, Hawke?
You should listen to your friend.
You've got one more chance to answer me before I make you.
I'm just trying to make a living. No need to be cross. Who told you about little old me?
It was Vivica. She showed me her books.
That wasn't so hard, was it? Just do one more thing for me. Draw your blade and bring it gently across your throat.
Bethany, stop her!
Let go of my brother!
How did you... Oh, shit. Spare me, Messere.
You're just too dangerous. You have to die.
No. No!
Apostate prostitutes? Apostitutes!
And I tell you what, I talk tough shit, but the second it's too much, I'm like, Bethany, help me! Ah! With her gone, we go after even more blood mages. As much as I want mages free, blood magic being used time and time again is making it really hard to convince others. But also, the more they are pushed into a lack of freedom and an impending tranquility, the more they are pushed to use blood magic to fight back. So it is a vicious circle. So while I do understand why they do what they do, I am still very pro-mage. Blood magic often causes more harm than good, but I understand why, when backed in a corner, they might use it. We rescue a Templar from them named Karen. Anyway, we are finally ready for the Deep Roads expedition. Varric once again takes us to talk to his brother Bertram, who isn't happy we are coming but agrees to it reluctantly.
Wait, who invited the old woman?
I'm sorry to interrupt, Sir Dwarf, but I need to speak with my children.
Mother! I told you not to get involved with this.
I just want to know one thing. Are you planning on taking Bethany with you?
I can't leave Bethany behind. I need her.
Mother, I'll be fine. I want to go.
It's not fine. You can't both go. What if something will happen to you? I understand wanting to do this. But leave your sister here, I beg you.
It's the Templars or the Darkspawn, Mother. At least I'm allowed to fight Darkspawn.
Bethany, I beg you. Don't go. Don't do this.
I'll be fine, Mother, I promise. This will work out for the best. You'll see.
So our party enters the Deep Roads. Shortly later, we are informed Sandal has gone missing, and off we go to find him. And of course we find him with a ton of dead bodies around him, just like in the first game. What the hell kind of power does Sandal wield?
Well, I'll be a Nug's uncle. Isn't that Bodan's boy?
I don't believe it. Are you responsible for all this?
Boom!
And how did you do that?
Not enchantment.
So he's fine, but the Deep Roads are getting deadlier and deadlier, and we still have not found treasure. However, we did find an idol.
It's definitely magic. And not the good kind.
Doesn't look like any kind of lyrium I've ever seen. Look at this, Bartrand. An idol made out of pure lyrium, I think. Could be worth a fortune. You could be right. Excellent find. You do that.
The door!
Bartrand! It's shut behind you!
You always did notice everything, Varric. Are you joking? You're going to screw over your own brother for a lousy idol? It's not just the idol. The location of this tag alone is worth a fortune, and I'm not splitting that 3 ways.
Well, we do manage to find a bit of treasure, but now we have a strange, long, dangerous way to escape the Deep Roads, thanks to Bitraz Bartram. Unfortunately, we got a big problem. Due to us spending so much time finding the Darkspawn, Bethany isn't doing too hot.
Could we slow down? I'm not feeling very well.
Let's make camp if you're sick.
I'll wager it was those deep mushrooms we found.
No.
Bethany!
It's the Blight. I can sense it.
I'll end up just like Wesley, won't I?
There must be some other way.
I'm not going to last until the surface. It's coming on faster.
There might be something we can do. I stole the maps from a warden that had come to Kirkwall. I wanted to know if he was looking for me. He wasn't. The maps were for planning their own expedition into the Deep Roads. If the wardens are here, I know where. We could bring Bethany to them.
And do what? Become a Grey Warden?
Is this even possible? How does someone become a Grey Warden?
I can't tell you. But it's not something you can undo once it's done. Even if you want to.
This just keeps sounding better and better.
They might agree to it, however. That's if we can find them in time.
If there's even a chance, we must take it.
Then I hope I'm right.
So the plan is to find the Grey Warden, ask them to turn her into one, which they might not do because they don't just take anyone, although Neria did just take anyone.
You mean the girl as a recruit? Of course you do. I'm sorry. I know this comes as no comfort to you, but we do not recruit Grey Wardens out of pity. It is no kindness.
You think it's kinder to let Bethany die from the Blight?
Sometimes it is. Yes.
Stroud, trust me when I say this one is worth your time. With the Blight over, you Wardens don't have recruits lining up.
This is no simple thing, Anders. This may be as much a death sentence as the sickness, and you know it.
She'll die anyway. Take her and try. I'm asking you.
If the girl comes, she comes now, and you may not see her again.
Are you sure about this?
I wish it hadn't worked out this way.
We must move quickly if we are to make the surface in time.
Then, I guess this is it. Take care of Mother.
And shit, man. So Bethany goes with them to be a Grey Warden. She survives the joining, but now I can't fucking see her anymore. And obviously Mother doesn't handle that well, and because she begged me not to take Bethany to the Deep Roads, and yet I took Bethany to the Deep Roads, and look what happened. Now I can't even see Bethany anymore. I mean, it was worth it to keep Bethany alive, for sure, but this sucks still. And Varric's gonna work on making sure we get our money's worth from our items, but it's hard to care anymore. First Carver and now Bethany, constantly fighting to escape poverty only to lose the ones I love to do it. My Hawk is hurting. And despite it not being Varric's fault and really being his brother Bertram's fault, Hawk is quite upset with him. 3 years pass. Mother and I move to a mansion, and the Qunari are for some reason still here. The Viscount asks us to go talk to the Qunari and see what's up, which I guess means I can't sit around moping and still have work to be done. I can be a bit pickier about my jobs now though, now that I'm out of poverty.
So the end of Act 1 always takes away your remaining sibling. If you bring them into the Deep Roads and don't bring Anders as well, you won't be able to find the Grey Wardens, and your sibling will die. Michael and I both got lucky on our first playthrough, as we both brought Bethany and Anders, so she survived as a Grey Warden. If you leave your sibling behind, Bethany will be captured by Templars, or Carver's punk ass will actually join the Templars out of spite for you leaving him behind.
So now we have a new big house. Sandal and Bodan have moved in, and in return, they clean the house and take care of the dog. Now, you don't get a choice. You live with them now. And your mom. And as for Bethany, she's with the Grey Wardens, and we don't get to see her. She writes to her mother, but not to Hawk, because she's mad with him. And that hurts. Not just Hawk, but that pushes past Hawk and hurts me as well. I tried to do what was best. That's all I was doing. I didn't want her to die. And now she's upset with us. And then, I hate when people are upset with me. We go check up on all our buddies and see how they're doing. And other than Meryl and Varric, the answer is not good.
Don't come running to me next time you pick up one of these diseases.
Isn't that the point of magic?
I don't want to know. We haven't talked much recently. How have you been?
Good. I just love what Knight Commander Meredith's done with the place. The curfews, the midnight raids on mages' families. Everyone I know forced into hiding so they won't be made tranquil.
And remember that mage who we sent to the Dalish instead of the Circle? Well, he is trapped in the Fade, and we are going to see if we can get him out without him or us being possessed. Can't guarantee it, but we will try.
I had not thought to return in such a way. It is good to feel the breath of the Fade again, not the empty air of your world.
We're just here for a visit, so don't get too homesick.
I am Justice. Anders has told you of me. Come. I sense Fainwheel's mind straining. We will not have much time.
So Hawk took Anders, Meryl, and Isabella, and currently Anders is more Justice than Anders. So we meet a pleasure demon, and Isabella instantly becomes a piece of shit.
Would your pirate queen stay if the open water beckoned? What do you say, sweetheart? A 2-mast brigantine, square main topsail, 100 well-built lads, to answer your every whim.
I like big boats, I cannot lie.
So we kill her ass and Isabella's over the dumbest shit, and then we gotta deal with the same fucking shit with Meryl, because of course she falls for the demon tricks.
I can't spend another moment in this place. The screaming. Everywhere, all I hear are the nightmares of people dying, fleeing, gnawing their own arms off to escape. This is a world of monsters. And they all want me. Please, help me escape. Help me die.
If I kill you here, I only destroy your mind. You will become a tranquil.
I was afraid of that for so long. I can't even remember why. Do it. Put the knife in my heart.
Close your eyes, Fenriel. You won't ever see the Fade again.
Thank you.
Turns out Isabella and Meryl are not dead or tranquil. There was really no consequences for their actions other than I'm furious with them now. And that actually is fine, because I thought that I was legitimately killing them, and I was like, oh my god. So I'm glad that didn't happen. We did what we could do, and Meryl apologizes, but we're still very pissed off at her. She basically tried to kill us. Both of them benched until further notice.
I can't believe I turned on you. With the demon in the Fade, I'm so sorry. Masaranas. I'll understand if you can't forgive me.
The next time you betray me, I'll cut you down.
I won't. I would never. Masaranas.
You could have killed Fenriel or me, or become an abomination.
But I didn't. You stopped me and put things right. Thank the creators you were there. It won't happen again. I'll make sure of that.
Alright, never mind. I guess I forgive Meryl now, but I still don't trust her judgment. Well, let's see if Isabella has anything to say about her actions.
You have a lot to answer for.
Ugh, bugger. I knew this was coming. I'm sorry I abandoned you in the Fade. That was foolish of me. I mean, I didn't even get the ship in the end.
So you admit it? You'll betray a friend for a ship?
Hey, not just any ship. I could see the hard line of the hull, run my hands along the elegant curve of her prow. Oh! The demon was in my head. Nothing but the ship made sense.
Everything you say proves your weakness.
Well, we can't all be perfect like you. That would make the world too boring, wouldn't it? I already said I was sorry. What more do you want? Would you like me to clean your privy for a month? Shit. I really shouldn't have said that.
I guess that's an apology, but it's a pretty half-hearted apology, so, you know, she can stay fucking benched as well. We also meet a dwarf who begs us to save his sons who went to the Deep Roads to look for treasure. And last time I was in the Deep Roads, I fucking lost Bethany. It's not worth going back, so Hawke tells the dwarf to fuck off. Sebastian is with us again, and he found out that the people who hired the assassins were family friends. So we go to their place to find out why they hired assassins to kill his parents, and it turns out the answer was a shit ton of demons, just so many demons. So we kill the demons and the family. We then go home, and Isabella apologizes better and is no longer benched.
We were using each other, sweet thing. I was curious about you, and now my curiosity is sated. Wait, you're not thinking of bringing feelings into this, are you?
No, this was just for fun.
Good. Come see me at the tavern sometime. I know a cozy little nook behind the ale barrels.
We also go check up on our mom.
I've been wondering if I shouldn't remarry. I've heard that pirate girl of yours talk. I'm sure the last thing you need is your mother watching over your shoulder every time you come home. But perhaps there is still life once your children have outgrown you.
You've been through a lot. You deserve any joy you can find.
Thank you, love. No one could ever replace your father.
But it is refreshing to think I could still be courted at this age.
Also, some shit's going down in the city. Women are disappearing and ending up dead, and that's never a good thing. So we investigate when we get the time and see if we can figure out what's going on. So we track a blood mage down, and it turns out he was also tracking a woman down so that he could try to find out who's killing these women. Turns out the killer killed his sister, and apparently his MO is he gets women to fall in love with him and he sends them white lilies. And then he kills him. Unfortunately, the killer was not here this time, so we will continue looking in our free time. Aveline stops by and asks if she can borrow Barrison Ford for training her soldiers, and of course that's a yes. It's nice to have people loving him, unlike fucking Gamlen. And you know what reminds me of Gamlen? The fucking poisonous stench in the air at our next mission. Some fucks have gas bombed the elven alienage because they are mad at the Qunari and want to frame the Qunari, so people will get mad and chase the Qunari away. And that's some straight up insane behavior that will not be tolerated. Innocent people live here who have nothing to do with this racism. Hell, Meryl lives here, and the gas is surely not good for her brain. So we kill these fucks and we get rid of the gas and clear the Qunari and save the day. So Meryl has an evil mirror and she wants us to help her fix it. So I call her dumb and bench her again, cause when the fuck will she learn? Why are we gonna help fix this evil mirror that apparently kills people? Shortly later, Anders asks if we'll help him kill Templars who are making mages tranquil for no reason. And that's the sort of shit you gotta ask me if you want Hawke saying yes. No way should they have their essence taken from them because they were born with magic. Fuck that.
No, please. I haven't done anything wrong.
That's a lie. What do we do to mages who lie?
I just wanted to see my mum. No one ever told her where they were taking me.
So, you admit your attempted escape? You know what happens to mage girls who don't toe the line around here, don't you?
Please, no! Don't make me tranquil. I'll do anything.
That's right. Once you're tranquil, you'll do anything I ask.
Get your hands off her!
You fiends will never touch a mage again. They will die! I will have every last Templar for these abuses.
We'll kill them all, I promise.
Every one of them will feel justice's burn.
Get away from me, demon!
I am no demon. Are you one of them, that you would call me such?
You are here under my command. Not another step.
Justice answers to nobody.
This is not the way to do it. Save your fire for the Templars.
Please, Messer.
Baker, no. I almost... If you weren't here, I need to get out of here.
That was scary, and Justice has changed too much to where his anger clouds his judgment. Varric tells us he found his brother Bertram, and now my anger also clouds my judgment, because it's time for him to die. Bertram is insane. That idol he stole, it turned him crazy, and it's made of red lyrium, and he sold it to a woman. What woman? I don't know. He isn't exactly sane enough to ask, so we tell Varric he needs to kill him now or we will, and Varric is struggling because it's his brother. But I don't give a shit he's insane. He ruined my sister's life and his life is forfeit. Varric finally shoots him dead, and now Hawke and Varric are good again, but that was super hard for him to do. Next we attempt to help Aveline get a date with one of her guardsmen, Donnic, but she's so bad it's maddening. She even leaves us talking to Donnic, making it look awkward as shit. Like, are we flirting with Donnic? No. And it also makes us look like we are trying to get with Aveline as well. By her sending us, but not telling us we could say that, oh, Aveline has a crush on you, we're just kind of awkwardly there. And after way too many tries, they actually end up together, which I'm happy for her, but Jesus Christ, man. Well, shit's starting to hit the fan as we find Templars killing bound Qunari just for existing. So obviously we kill them, but weirdly enough it was that snake's sister Patrice who told us this was going on, so obviously something isn't quite right. This is causing trouble for the Viscount as tensions are already high, and how will he explain this to them? Unfortunately, I gotta put all that on hold as our mom seems to be missing. She went on some date with someone who sent her white lilies. So shit, we are worried our mom is about to be murdered, so we threaten everyone who exists until we find her, and unfortunately we are too late.
I was wondering when you'd show up. Leandra was so sure you'd come for her.
You bastard! I'm going to kill you.
I was afraid you might say that. She's here. She's waiting for you.
I have done the impossible. I have touched the face of the Maker and lived.
Do you know what the strongest force in the universe is? Love. I pieced her together from memory. I found her eyes, her skin, her delicate fingers. And at last, her face. Oh, this beautiful face. I've searched far and wide to find you again, beloved. And no force on this earth will part us.
Mother!
There's nothing I can do. His magic was keeping her alive.
I knew you would come.
Don't move, Mother. We'll find a way to...
Shh. Don't fret, darling. That man would have kept me trapped in here. Now, I'm free. I get to see Carver again. And your father. You'll be here alone.
I'll be fine, Mother.
My little boy has become so strong. I love you. You've always made me so proud.
Holy shit. I actually made an animation that was basically that, but I think Dragon Age 2 honestly did it better than I did. This is good shit. But also, holy fucking shit, I just lost my mother, and in such an awful way. And Bethany, who is already lost, is going to find out and hate me more. And now I have no family. Family is just dead, except Gamlen, who I would have already killed earlier if I could have. So needless to say, Hawke is not doing well. Like, he's doing real bad. What even matters anymore? The Viscount's like, hey, my son has joined the Qunari, you gotta stop him. And Hawke's like, yeah, sure, fine. Whatever. And then he mopes away. Like, I could really care about that right now. My family's fucking dead, man.
My mother is dead. My heart's broken.
I feel I should say something.
I know you're not good at emotional stuff.
At least your mother loved you. Not everyone can say that.
I'm going to hold on to my memories of what she was,
not the thing Quentin made of her.
And just think, you stopped him. Quentin's never going to hurt anyone again. I think no matter what, she'd be proud of you.
But all this losing family has changed Hawke's mind about one thing. The dwarf who asked him to save his sons in the Deep Road, Hawke doesn't want him to experience the pain of losing family. Into the Deep Roads, no less. So back to the Deep Roads we go. Apparently one of the sons has gone mad looking for a sword and is lost somewhere in the Deep Roads. But we found the other two and save him. And I'm sorry for his loss, but at least I was able to save 2 of his kids. So that makes Hawke feel a little better, but only a little. Always skilled enough to save some, but never skilled enough to save all. Oh, but any good feelings Hawke was having immediately got dashed by Isabella.
I'm going to die. There. Got your attention. Real problem.
So Aveline's like, look, fugitives are converting to the Qunari for protection, and that's not okay. We need to show them they don't have immunity like that, and they can't hide behind the Qunari. And Isabella's like, yeah, but hey, we need to get this relic back from this one guy now, or that guy Castion, he's gonna kill me. So on a macro level, the Qunari problem is far bigger, but on a micro level, Hawke is fuck buddies with Isabella, so he wouldn't want her to die. We end up choosing to save Isabella first, is what I say to them, and then I immediately go ADD and save the Viscount's son from the Qunari.
Sirrah Hawke, look at what you have done. To pounce upon the Viscount's son, a repentant convert in the Chantry itself, a crime with no excuse. Your Qunari masters will finally answer.
This is another Sister Patrice trap to get us killed, and I'm fucking done with it. It's time for her to make like Andraste and get stabbed in the heart.
I have kept the fear of the Qunari fresh in every sermon, every prayer. They will know whose word to believe. When people learn of this attack, they will rise. Not zealots or the unknowing, but the true majority.
Get back! Another one for me!
Do you see, Your Grace? Traitors attacking the very core of the Chantry. They defile with every step.
There is death in every corner, young mother. It is as you predicted. All too well.
The young mother arranged all of it.
Don't you spout your Qunari filth. This is a hand of the Divine.
I have ears, Mother Patrice. The Maker would have me use them.
Viscount Dumas' son is dead. Killed here in your name.
I'm sure my name won't like that. Patrice?
Seamus Dumas was a Qunari convert. He came here to repent and was murdered.
It's a ruse, Your Grace. Seamus was killed to set people against the Qunari.
This is no longer a matter of heathens squatting in the docks. People are leaving us to join them.
And we must pray for them like any other.
They deny the Maker.
And you diminish him, even as you claim his side. A court will decide her fate. The Chantry respects the law, and so must she.
Grand Cleric? Grand Cleric?
We protect those of the Qun. We do not abandon our own.
While I don't have a lot of respect for the Chantry, I do think the Grand Cleric is a great woman and one of the best people in the game, and I'm glad she could see through Sister Patrice's bullshit. Obviously, the Viscount doesn't take his son's death well, and even with Patrice gone, you can feel that storm brewing in the air. And about that relic that Isabella needs to get back that she stole, it turns out that it's actually really important to the Qunari, and that she stole it, and that's why they have been here for years. They aren't waiting on a boat to come home, they are trying to find the relic. And all this fucking time Isabella knew. Now yes, I get why she didn't say anything, 'cause the Qunari would want her dead, and everyone who was hurt by Qunari would want her dead, and the whole town would want her dead, and Hawke would either want her dead, or give her a very stern "I'm disappointed in you" look.
The artifact belongs to the Qunari, and you'll let them leave with it.
There's a cost to both sides.
Don't you understand? The relic is the only thing that will keep Castillon from feeding me to the sharks. I can't believe you're... Oh!
Fine. You're right. I'll return the relic. It'll go straight to the Qunari once we get it.
Come on, we've no time to waste.
That ain't what happens though, obviously. She takes the relic and she leaves.
She's gone. She took it. That bitch-born whore.
Greetings, Arashok. We come regarding the elven fugitives that took refuge here.
Irrelevant. I would speak to Hawke about the relic stolen from my grasp.
If you give me time, I'll get it back for you.
It is much too late for that.
An issue for another time. We're here for the fugitives.
Surely you know these elves are only here to escape justice.
Kirkwall justice. Speak, Vidithari. Who did you murder, and why?
A city guard forced himself on our sister. We reported him, or tried to. But they did nothing about it, no matter what we said. So my brothers and I paid him a visit.
That doesn't excuse murder.
I would have done the same thing in their shoes.
Hawke, that's not helping.
Their actions are mere symptoms. Your society is the disease. They have chosen. The Vidithari will submit to the Qun and find a path your way has denied them.
You can't just decide that. You must hand them over.
Vinek Kathas.
Not here. Too open. Go! Go! Hawke!
So a battle has begun, and the Qunari take the city while we try to figure out what we can do. So we just go rushing in, killing Qunari all over the city while it burns, and suddenly some Grey Wardens show up, including Bethany. That's right, Bethany is here. I haven't seen her in years, and she's still mad, and it hurts that she's so upset with me. It hurts a lot. If there was an enemy nearby, I would stab him. Anyway, more and more allies continue to join. We get the Templar leader, Knight Commander Meredith, and Orsino, who is in charge of Kirkwall's Circle of Magi. Meredith and Orsino can't decide how to do this attack, so Hawke takes over and leads the charge. We make it to the King's throne, just in time to see this.
Here is your Viscount.
You dare? You are starting a war!
Sinead Dawn, Hawke. I expected you. But for all your might, you are no different from these bars. You do not see. So tell me, Hawke, you know I am denied Parvalen until the Tome of Kozlun is found. How would you see this conflict resolved without it?
I believe I can answer that. I'm sure you'll find it mostly undamaged.
The Tome of Kozlun.
It took me a while to get back, what with all the fighting everywhere. You know how it is.
I thought you'd be long gone by now.
This is your damned influence, Hawk. I was halfway to Ostwick before I knew I had to turn round. It's pathetic.
The relic is reclaimed. I am now free to return to Parvalin with the thief.
What? Oh, no, no, no. If anyone kicks her ass, it's me.
She stole the Tome of Kazloon. She must return with us.
You have your relic. She stays with us.
I'm sure he'll take that well. Breveni, you might want to move a bit this way.
Then you leave me no choice. I challenge you, Hawk. You and I will battle to the death, with her as the prize.
No. If you're going to duel anyone, duel me.
No offense to Isabella, but I wasn't sure Hawk was gonna beat this guy. I for sure wasn't gonna have her do it if I wasn't sure Hawk was gonna beat this guy. As skilled as she is, she's one of our weakest members. The only one of my party I'd even consider letting this guy fight over me is Aveline, and that's because she's got tanky ass health. Now, while this is one of the better boss battles, it still wasn't quite good. Like, it isn't bad for the gameplay, it's about the best they can do, but this game has nothing for defense. No dodge, no block. So basically I just attack, spam potions, and summon my dog over and over again until I win. And yeah, I did enjoy this fight. He was a tough son of a bitch who just happened to be the right amount of challenge for my Hawk. But I enjoyed this fight more for story-wise reasons and less for gameplay-wise reasons, you know?
One day, we shall return.
It appears Kirkwall has a new champion.
So yeah, we could have had 3 years in time again, and now with the Viscount dead, Knight Commander Meredith is somehow in charge. Not sure how that happened, but fuck that.
Your measures have become more extreme over the last 3 years.
And you could do better? How well did you guard your own mother?
Wait a minute. Don't bring anyone mother into this. She ain't here. If it wasn't for your mother, you wouldn't be here. So remember, when you put down one mother, you put down mothers all over the world.
Now as for back home, Bodin and Sandal will be leaving us. The Empress of Orlais wants Sandal as an enchanter, and that is quite the job. Very excited for him. I go to ask Sandal about it, but instead he says bizarre creepy shit.
The old lady is scary. There is no old lady, Sandal. How many times do I have to tell you that?
What's this about?
Oh, my boy sees things sometimes. Says he saw an old lady standing by his bed. She has a scary laugh. Yes, well, there you go.
So before we go too deep within the third act, let's talk about one of the DLCs, the Mark of the Assassin. It starts off with Hawk and his friends being ambushed, and then in comes an elf named Talus. Now Talus is far more of Hawk's type, or at least my Hawk's type. Sure, him and Isabella sorta have a thing, but it's more like fuck buddies than a relationship. I just don't see them really working out. Don't get me wrong, Isabella is gorgeous, but she feels more like an open relationship kind of gal, and Hawk feels more like a one-woman kind of family guy. Neria and Isabella could have worked, but Hawk is only kinda sorta dating Isabella, not really. It's like those super immature relationships you have in high school. And while Hawk has no idea what kind of person Talus is, seeing a competent companion taking out assassins means he wouldn't have to worry about her as much, and they could work together on missions. It turns out we have an invitation to a hunt from the Duke of Orlais, and while we aren't big into hunts, Talus really wants us to go because she has something she says she needs to steal, an important jewel from the Duke. We accept for 2 reasons. 1, Hawk is after some booty, and I guess his friends are just going to be the best fucking wingman ever and join him on this. And 2, if we said no, we couldn't really continue the story of the DLC, so it would kind of end there, I guess, is what I would assume. So we gotta do this for the plot. So off we go to Orlais, and for some reason, Bethany is here, and holy shit, how exciting is that? She even joins our party for this hunt. She just is kind of still cross and distant from us, sadly, but maybe we can fix that. So we are hunting a wyvern, which is kind of like a dragon, but it's not. So we end up covering Talus in a bunch of shit and having her dance around like a fool. But it works. Out comes the scaly beast and we kill it before anyone else. Well, we won the hunt, so that's pretty cool. Now it's time for the Duke's party. This is our chance to steal the jewel. But first, we need to mingle a bit. Hawk and Talus are dressed up. Varric and Bethany are just wearing normal outfits. There's actually quite a few notable guests here too. Tegan is here from the first game, and so is Leliana, and her and Talus actually know each other.
Dire circumstances. Talus?
Leliana, it's so lovely to see you again.
You look stunning this evening. Your hair is darling. Did you do it yourself?
I get the distinct impression you've met before.
Oh, briefly. A long time ago.
You meet all sorts of people in Orlais. It keeps life exciting.
I get the feeling there's some trouble here.
No, no trouble at all.
Everything is fine, Hawk. Why would you think otherwise? We shouldn't take up more of your time, Leliana. I'm sure you have things that need attention. Right now.
We then go through many attempts of us using Talus to flirt with people to get a key, and it is not working.
My, what a big sword you have. Do they give those to all the Chevaliers? So impressive.
Lovely party. Well?
He doesn't have it.
I know, right? They treat you like part of the furniture. I'm surprised they don't sit on it.
Avoid the cheese plate. Terrible. Have you got the key?
I'm usually better at this.
But, yes, the Regency wallpaper is quite lovely. I agree. I wouldn't say, forget it.
That wyvern blood has some kick, doesn't it?
This is officially my worst night ever.
Not Lord Cyril's type.
Maybe he just doesn't like elves. Or women. In either case, you're the answer. He has the key. Go get it.
Tell the elf that her pleas are for nothing. She's pretty enough, I suppose. No doubt there are some men who would like that sort of thing.
So in we try to sneak.
What in the name?
There's no need for you to die today, friend. Just move on. You never saw us. You could have walked away.
Something wrong?
I didn't want to kill him.
I've seen you kill several men.
There are other paths. They do not all need to lead to the same destination. Enough. We're here for the heart.
This felt a bit weird to me as I've seen her kill so much, but I guess I understand not wanting to kill if we don't have to. It was just a bit jarring from what I saw earlier. After that, there's a lot of stealth stuff. Something this game was for sure not meant for, and I really did enjoy this part. It wasn't awful, but it was not good either. your options are a bit limited, and the indicators of what the guards see are pretty inaccurate. Next, they give us a puzzle, and I don't know what the correct way to solve it was, but I summoned Barrison Ford to stand on a stone to open a gate so I could leave, and he would end up trapped there. Poor guy. I know he'll find a way out, though. He always can come, no matter where in the world I am, he can be summoned. But shit goes wrong and we end up trapped. Turns out that Talus works for the Qunari. She isn't a Qunari. Let me say that Qunari, I guess, can both be a specific race of people as well as like a group identity. And she's something called a Ben Hassarath, which is like a secret special agent for the Qunari. She wasn't even here for a jewel. She was here because there is a different Qunari who's about to give up an important weapon to the Duke, and she's actually here to stop him. And Hawke isn't happy about this deception. He isn't happy he's in jail right now, and they argue a bit, but eventually make up and escape. We then fight our way out and talk one more time before our last fight, and I know Hawke and Talus are just being awkward or whatever in their very bizarre way of flirting, but I cannot imagine how cringy this is to Bethany, who's still mad at Hawke and is now watching him act so absolutely stupid.
So you could go. There are, however, other options.
Coming on a bit strong there, Talus. We've only just met.
But we've been through so much together. Wyvern hunts, betrayals, daring escapes from prison.
You're right. I'm feeling so close to you right now.
So, it's true what they say about you.
After everything you've already done, why would I help you again?
Because I've got your nose.
The Qun taught you that?
If I were following the Qun, I would actually have your nose.
Well, names, Your Grace. It's a list of names. What is the meaning of this?
You asked for a weapon. I am providing it.
We expected the formula for black powder, dreadnought plans, a map of Qunandar, anything. This is useless. Your Grace.
So yeah, this leads to my favorite boss battle in Dragon Age so far. The Duke has a crossbow that whatever it hits, the Wyvern goes after. So we are fighting him, and sometimes purposely getting hit, so we can try to trick him to run off the cliff. It's one of the most memorable boss fights I've had, and it's probably my favorite boss fight of Dragon Age, just in general, off the top of my head. We kill the Duke and say goodbye to Talus. It's sad she will be gone, but this was a fine DLC.
There's no way I could have done this without your help.
What's the scroll?
This is a list of agents throughout Thedas. Qunari, like myself. Many of them have children, family, friends. They're people you wouldn't suspect. Some have even left the Qun behind. But if this list fell into human hands, they, and everyone they know,
would be killed.
The Arcune believes they knew the risks. But what about the innocents? I couldn't let this happen.
That's what you do for a friend.
A friend? Is that what I am?
That's up to you.
I like the sound of that. Yes, I see.
Here we go again.
Take care of yourself, Hawke. Maybe we'll meet again sometime.
So yeah, now we are going back to Kirkwall. Bethany is going back to chill with her Grey Wardens, and Hawke is just not going to mention Talus to Isabella since they aren't really a thing, and since he'll probably never see Talus again. You know when you go to a summer camp and you meet a fling and then you come home and you never see that person again? That was Talus and Hawke. With 3 years passed from the second act, we go check up on our buddies and see how they're doing, and it's not well.
A mage saved all of us from the Blight. But it makes no difference. The Chantry set us on this path long ago. It would take something truly catastrophic to change people's thinking now.
But Aveline is doing alright though. She did get married to Donnic, but the rest, not doing that great. Anders has decided that him being combined with Justice is dangerous, and he has a plan on how to separate them. He just needs us to do a few things first. So I agree without even questioning it. I also visit Gamlen, who is actually being very nice. Maybe things will work out from now on.
You made a pretty good son anyway. Your mother would be proud.
I just wish Mother had lived to see me become champion.
I know Leandra, and she'd be absolutely glowing from all the praise that's been heaped on you. I don't say this often, but we're the only family we've both got left. For a long time, I thought the Amel line in Kirkwall would end at me. I'm glad you've pulled it out of the grave.
So, I hear you've been slipping it to that pirate slut from the Hanged Man.
The bitch turned me down flat.
Jesus, never mind. And to think I was about to give him a second chance. It also turns out that Gamlen has a daughter he didn't know about, and it's honestly great to have another family member. She actually seems pretty great.
Don't mess this up, old man.
So Isabella's plan for getting to Castillon so we can kill him is to have Hawke capture her and bring her in. She even asks us to really play it up, and I'll be honest, I had Hawke play it up so good I was starting to wonder if I accidentally missed something and had made my character go too far and betray Isabella. But nope, all good. Hawke is just a method actor, 10 out of 10.
I have a present for Castillon.
Present for... what?
Take her to Castillon. Or kill her. I don't care.
Kill me? What?
I've dreamed about snapping that pretty neck.
Hawke, this wasn't the plan.
Do it. I'm tired of her squealing.
No. No, wait!
Shut up.
Oh.
I'd love to finish the job, but Castillon will never forgive me.
We then meet Castillon. Hawke is ready to kill him, as that was the plan, but Isabella has blackmail on him, and she says she wants his ship and to be left alone, and she will turn over the blackmail. And I think this is a stupid idea. She's like, yeah, but he's true to his word, and he will leave us alone, and also that ship is like so cool. Yeah, sure. Let's let the slaver go, because you want a ship. I swear to God, she's got a fucking ship boner, and all her dick can think about is ships, and all rationality flies out the window. We are fucking killing this guy, and that's that, so we do it.
Are you insane?
I want his ship. I saw her docked in the harbor. She's new, fast, and I want her.
Also, we bump into Liliana doing some spy work, and she works for the Divine in Orlais and seems to be still a badass. Anyway, we get all the stuff Anders needs, but he is really being weird. And he wants us to go to the Chantry and distract the Grand Cleric. He didn't say why, but I have no reason not to trust him, so I don't question it. Although with his strange favors of non-specificity, I'm beginning to grow curious. But hey, he runs a free clinic, and he's all about mage freedom. And other than that one time where he almost killed an innocent person, I've had no reason to question him. So then he does his deed, whatever it was, and we return to his place. And then he changes his clothes to a darker color, and starts to babble about in a stranger way than usual. Making me think, he didn't get rid of Justice. He actually might just be even more Justice than Anders now. Is he getting rid of Anders? What's exactly happening here? What did I just help him do?
The war will happen. The clock is ticking down. It will be midnight soon.
After that, Isabella continues to do a good job at making me dislike her. I've never disliked a romance option more. Sure, she is probably the most gorgeous person to me in all of fucking Dragon Age. But I just hate everything about her personality. Whatever, though. That's Hawk's problem, not mine.
Sonic was in the rose.
He was not.
Easy, big girl. He wasn't shopping for himself. You're lucky to have a man who wants to please you. But maybe you could indulge him more. Are there areas of intimacy you haven't explored?
Why? Why do you give me these doubts?
Aveline, if you shove your thumb up his ass, I win.
Ah, that old chestnut.
I bench her for the next mission because we are about to go see Zevran from the first game, and I don't need them sucking and fucking while I try to get shit done. After all, Zevran is who killed Isabella's husband, and they are fuck buddies. Let me take a step back. This sounds like I'm saying I dislike her for being promiscuous. This is not at all the case. I dislike Isabella for being a selfish bastard who mainly cares about herself and will hurt others around her to make her feel better. I dislike Isabella because she could never read a room and would fit in better at a sorority than with my team trying to free mages. She did have that one line about being anti-slavery, but then later on, she was going to let a slaver go in return for a boat. And I have no problem with someone who enjoys sleeping around. If anything, Hawk should not be trying to be with her. If he is more of a monogamous guy and she wants to fuck everyone and also boats, like, at that point they should just go their separate ways because they both want different things. And that's fine. But to stick around is just gonna get Hawk hurt. And based on Isabella's inability to convey any message without it pertaining to carnal subjects, even if it disturbs and distraughts others, I'd say this match is inadequate and should be nullified at the earliest convenience, but what the fuck do I know? Anyway, it was good to see Zevran again. Wonder what Neria is up to. After that, we go see Knight Commander Meredith, who is such a shitty person. I feel bad about everything I just said about Isabella. I'm sorry, Isabella, you're really not that bad. I have Knight Commander Meredith to deal with. She wants us to help her track down 3 powerful and dangerous mages. She claims the phylacteries were destroyed, but I kinda wonder if she just handpicked some of these mages to try to make us on her side, because the particular mages sound like pretty bad people and they're very blood magic friendly. But then, to make sure you don't even consider the Templar side, she has you ask all further questions to a tranquil mage who she just kinda keeps around like a trophy, and it beyond makes me hate the Knight Commander. Anyway, 2 of them ended up being evil blood mages, so we kill them. Just because I'm pro-mage doesn't mean I'm going to blindly accept all mage is good. The 3rd one wasn't even evil. He was just really horny and also wanted to taste alcohol, so I let him have a special night before taking him back. We go check up on Meryl and she's like, hey, despite you, I got my mirror fixed, but it's still not working and there are some sketchy things I need to do to make it work. And I'm like, Meryl, use a smidgen of critical thinking for the maker's sake. Can we stop all this demon shit you don't understand before everyone gets hurt? I was being nice about it before. I was hoping you would change, but you won't drop it and I won't have people die just because you're dumb. You gotta consider maybe you're wrong about some things. On top of that, she's like, oh, could you kill me too if I get possessed? Why the fuck would we even risk your possession for this fucking mirror thing? Why risk that, dude? What if we just don't make deals with the demons, Meryl? What if we don't do that? I've seen how fast you fall into the temptation of the demons. And then she apologizes and she's like, oh, I won't do it again. Well, what the fuck is this girl? Why tempt fate? Obviously, she doesn't answer, but oh well. Meanwhile, First Enchanter Orsino and Knight Commander Meredith are arguing hard.
I have every right. You are harboring blood mages, and I intend to root them out before they infect this city.
Blood magic? Where do you not see blood magic? My people cannot sneeze without you accusing them of corruption.
Do not trifle with me, mage. My patience is at an end.
No wonder that I never saw it begin.
You can't keep pressing the mages like this.
What other option do we have? Tell me, champion, that you have not seen with your own eyes what they can do. Heard the lies of mages that seek power.
You can't use the actions of some to condemn them all.
You would cast us all as villains, but it is not so.
I know, and it breaks my heart to do it. But we must be vigilant. If you cannot tell me another way, do not brand me a tyrant.
This is getting us nowhere. Grand Cleric Athena will put a stop to this.
You will not bring her grace into this.
The Grand Cleric cannot help you.
Explain yourself, mage.
I will not stand by and watch you treat all mages like criminal, while those who would lead us bow to their Templar jailers.
How dare you speak to me?
The Circle has failed us, Orsino. Even you should be able to see that. The time has come to act. There can be no half measures.
Why do you not strike a blow against your oppressors? Ensure they can do this to no one else.
Because it sounds difficult?
Apathy is a weakness.
Justice once asked me why I didn't do more for other mages. I told him it was too much work, but I couldn't go back after that. Couldn't stop thinking about it. Sometimes I miss being that selfish. I'm not going. Those bastards made me get rid of my cat.
Like you, the Templars knew I had to be made an example of.
No!
How else will mages ever master themselves? You'll understand, Anders.
You will never take another mage as you took him!
The curfews, the midnight raids on mages' families. Everyone I know forced into hiding so they won't be made tranquil.
Get your hands off her!
You fiends will never touch a mage again. I will die! I will have every last Templar for these abuses!
A mage saved all of us from the Blight. But it makes no difference. The Chantry set us on this path long ago. It would take something truly catastrophic to change people's thinking now. The war will happen. The clock is ticking down. It will be midnight soon.
Anders, what have you done?
There can be no turning back.
Have mercy.
There can be no peace.
Althena, no! Maker, no! She was your most faithful, your most beloved.
Why? Why would you do such a thing?
I removed the chance of compromise, because there is no compromise.
As Knight Commander of Kirkwall, I hereby invoke the right of annulment. Every mage in the Circle is to be executed, immediately!
Why are we debating the right of annulment when the monster who did this is right here? I swear to you, I will kill him.
It can't be stopped now. You have to choose.
I won't let her slaughter all of you.
But what of Anders?
Hawke, if you do this, I don't know if I can follow.
You sure about this? Even you might not win this fight.
I know we can do this. I believe in you, Hawke.
Shit. What have you gotten yourself into this time, Isabella?
Think carefully, champion. Stand with them and you share their fate.
I'm not helping you, Meredith.
Thank the Maker.
I see what you are trying to do, and my place is with you.
You are a fool, champion. Kill them all! I will rouse the rest of the Order!
There's nothing you can say that I haven't already said to myself. I took a spirit into my soul and changed myself forever to achieve this. This is the justice all mages have awaited. Things can't stay as they are. The people fear what we can do. But to use that fear to bludgeon us into submission is wrong. And they do it with our blessing. And if I pay for that with my life, then I pay.
Perhaps then justice would at least be free.
Help me defend the mages.
You mean... stay with you? I didn't think you'd let me. But if you do, I'll fight the Templars. Damned right I will.
No! You cannot let this abomination walk free. He dies, or I am returning to Starkhaven. And I will bring such an army with me on my return, that there'll be nothing left of Kirkwall for these Maleficarum to rule.
Do not interfere, Sebastian.
I will return to Starkhaven, but... I swear to you, I will come back and find your precious Anders. I will teach him what true justice is.
Fuck, man, I should have asked him the questions. I should have asked him why he had me go into the Chantry and distract the thing. I could have asked him, god damn it. I understand why he did what he did. I truly do. And I am actually mostly on his side, and you might hate me for that. I get that an action needed to take place. Destroying the Chantry and innocent people in there that had nothing to do with this is, however, not how I think we should have went about this at all. Like, look, we got on one side Knight Commander Meredith, who sees the dangers of blood magic everywhere, which is fair, I guess, but her response is to take it out on all mages, and she's growing crazier and crazier due to her new sword, which you may have noticed is made with red lyrium, and that stuff makes you go crazy like Varric's brother. Then we have Orsino, who runs a circle of mages, but they are far stricter on mages there, and it's less a magic living area and more of a prison for the crime of being born a mage. So both aren't great sides. And when Anders is like, hey, no more half measures, oh, I feel that. I understand that. I cannot express how much I understand that. Not just because I'm anti-mage oppression, but because I currently live in a world where there are so many people I love and care about that are oppressed and treated poorly because of how they were born. And that particular week had been a real hard week on me in real life, so I felt those real world emotions. At the same time, I felt Anders' fictional conflict, and I felt his anger, and I felt his pain, and I was fucking sick of all this. I understood Anders, and when he went for his big moment, I fucking understood it. All of it. And why he did what he did. I really am kind of on his side, which is why I didn't kill him. It's why Sebastian wants to kill me now. But looking on it, I also see Anders done fucked up. He didn't hit Knight Commander Meredith. He didn't hit Orsino. He hit the Chantry, who was stuck in the middle of this conflict and wouldn't choose a side. And they, in my opinion, were not the enemy. And some of the people in there were completely innocent of having anything to do with this. Everything that happened made me rather conflicted. I am so sick of not being able to do anything about a lot of the real world oppression I see. That seeing someone do something about their oppression in this fictional world had me rooting for him, until it hit me exactly what the fuck he had done. And this could not be undone. He has started a war. Also, we reunite with Bethany, which made me very happy. What a roller coaster of emotions at this ending.
I wanted to apologize for what happened in the Deep Roads. You saved my life, and I couldn't even see that. You're the only family I have left. If you need my help against the Templars, just say the word.
Your magic would be welcome.
Good. Brother and sister together again? Just like old times.
I then talked to some companions before going into what might be our death.
I never wanted to mess up your life like this.
I think it's something that just sort of happens to friends of yours. Hawke, it's worth it. Let's bust some heads like the old days.
With Carver, I never got the chance to say goodbye. I won't let that happen now. Brother, if we don't come back from this, never doubt that I love you. I wouldn't have chosen this life, but the Maker gave it to me for a reason. Maybe this is it.
I couldn't ask for a better sister.
May the Maker bless you and keep you, brother. Thank you for supporting my people. It means a lot that you at least haven't turned against us.
I underestimated you, Hawke. I really thought when it was put to the test, you'd have to kill me. You are an example to us all.
Mages must have their freedom. It might as well begin here.
Thank you for standing by me. We would not have reached this point without you. May the Maker bring us victory. Maybe if he shows his approval, the world will finally be ready to change.
You don't have to be here if you don't want to be.
And if I didn't want to be here, I wouldn't be. I've no illusions about this. I know I might not survive this conflict, but I'm not going to run away. Not this time. I'm ready for whatever comes.
I feel like I'm forgetting something. Or there's more to do, or... Does all this feel like a dream to you, too?
I can't believe it's come to this.
You'll get us through this. You always do. Hawk, before we go...
We're coming back. That's a promise. I know we have to do this, but I don't want to lose people.
But what a way to go. A heroic sacrifice for the good of Kirkwall? There are worse endings, you know. You know me, Hawk. I'm not one for long goodbyes. I'm not sure we should be doing this. Helping dangerous people run amok. But I'm with you.
Whatever I'm going into, it's good to have you along.
It has been an honor, Hawk. What do you say we put an end to all this waiting around and go meet Destiny?
Then Orsino's like, hey, by the way, I was involved with that Quentin guy, and he was the guy who killed your mother, and we were doing crazy blood magic experiments, and I'm also kind of a bad guy, and I'm gonna turn into a monster now. Okay, I guess I'll kill him then too. He sucks blood from the dead and then becomes one of those monsters that we fought in Dragon Age Origins Golems of Amnarok. And so shit has really hit the fan, and now we gotta kill Orsino. And that's kind of his own fault here. I wasn't even gonna kill him up until this point. He could have just shut the fuck up and helped me fight Commander Meredith like a normal fucking bitch. But nope, now I gotta kill him too. So yeah, shit has more than officially hit the fan. Now it's time for the final battle against the crazed Knight Commander Meredith.
And here we are, champion. At long last. You are no mage. But in supporting them, you've elected to share their fate.
Knight Commander, I thought we intended to arrest the champion.
You will do as I command, Cullen.
No. I defended you when Thrask started whispering you were mad. But this is too far.
I will not allow insubordination. We must stay true to our path. You recognize it, do you not? Your lyrium. Taken from the deep roads. The dwarf charged a great deal for his prize.
The idol poisoned Bartrand's mind in the end.
He was weak, whereas I am not. All of you! I want him dead!
Enough! This is not what the Order stands for. Knight Commander, step down. I relieve you of your command.
My own Knight Captain falls prey to the influence of blood magic. You all have. You're all weak. Allowing the mages to control your minds, to turn you against me. But I don't need any of you. I will protect this city myself.
You'll have to go through me.
Idiot boy. Just like all the others.
She's clearly lost her mind.
Go down!
Maker, your servant begs you for the strength to defeat this evil. defeated! Maker, aid your humble servant!
So that is that. I'm not sure what happened there, but obviously stay away from the red lyrium. The game then cuts back to Cassandra questioning Varric about the whereabouts of Hawke, which I originally was disliking, but now that I know some of the events of the next game, I think this is really needed. They were searching for Neria, couldn't find her. Searching for Hawke, couldn't find him, so now they'll find the next best thing, our character of the third game. There's also a lot to like and dislike in this game. Of the 2 Dragon Ages I played, this one is my favorite. Overall, Origins is a better game. It has so much more to it and it's more fleshed out, but I prefer the more localized conflicts and family-oriented story, as well as the companions of 2. This one is often talked about as the worst, and maybe I just have a weird opinion, but I really do like this one better. My biggest gripes with it is the enemies are far too spongy, making combat feel unfun, and as you kill enemies, more appear, which makes it hard to gauge how long or hard a battle will play out, and there's just also a lot of reused assets, and all of that really bogs it down. But character-wise, I think it's a really strong game. Now before I end the video, we got one last DLC to go through.
Meredith and Anders are 2 of my favorite characters, and if you dig a bit deeper, Meredith will reveal her reasons for being so hard on the mages.
My sister was a mage. She was a kind, gentle soul, and completely unprepared for such a burden. My family hid her. We knew she could never last in the Circle, or pass their rigorous tests. Emilia was terrified, and utterly grateful for our efforts. We thought we were doing the right thing. Then, she was possessed by a demon. My sister killed our family, and I only barely escaped. Before the Templars brought her down, she had slain 70 innocents. So I understand perfectly well why the mages struggle, as well as why the laws we uphold are so vital. It gave me a reason to join the Templars, and a worthy cause. I will not allow my sister's death to be without purpose. It will serve as a reminder of where good intentions can lead. I have sympathy for mages. They suffer a terrible curse, but it is one that carries a price they must not deny.
I consider Meredith and Anders to be 2 sides of the same coin. They are 2 people who want to do the right thing and help people, but both are steadily going insane. Anders because of the corrupted spirit of justice in him, and Meredith because of red lyrium. And both are starting to become dangerous extremists as a result. I will say I didn't help Anders sneak into the Chantry because he was sounding way too sus, and he still managed to blow the place up. My first playthrough, I was a warrior, and Anders had saved Bethany in the Deep Roads. Plus, mechanically, he's the only follower who can revive unconscious characters mid-combat, so I spared him. But my second playthrough as a mage, I executed him for his shenanigans. If you aren't a spirit healer yourself, and you, like me, waited to do the Legacy DLC after the main game, I seriously have no idea how you can win the Corypheus fight without Anders, because people will go down. Overall, I think Origins is, in almost every regard, a better game. No sane person in 2024 would play Dragon Age 2 just for its combat. And the exploration is limited by reused assets. And compared to Origins, you have relatively few choices that meaningfully impact the story. But where the strength of this game really lies is its writing, specifically its characters and especially its atmosphere. From beginning to end, there's an atmosphere of extreme tension, first between Kirkwallers and Ferelden refugees, then Kirkwallers and Qunari, and mages and Templars. It's something Origins also did really well at, but that game had world-ending stakes to lean on for that, whereas Dragon Age 2 was able to pull off the same effect with social tension, and there was a constant feeling that Kirkwall was going to erupt into a giant shit show at any moment, and that was probably my favorite quality of Dragon Age 2. I want to briefly cover the two followers Michael didn't recruit, Carver and Fenris. Carver is your younger brother and Bethany's twin, and if you choose to play as any class other than mage, he will always be killed in the opening act of the game. However, if you play as a mage, Bethany will be killed by the ogre instead, and Carver will become a follower. He is a two-handed warrior, and personality-wise, he is pretty much the exact opposite of Bethany, frequently antagonizing the older Hawk and some of their companions. Basically, he has an inferiority complex, at least partially due to being the only non-magical sibling if you choose to play as mage. Like Bethany, he can die or become a Grey Warden if you take him to the Deep Roads at the end of Act 1. But unlike Bethany, he will be most upset if you leave him on the surface, and he'll join the Templars out of spite, which is what happened in my mage playthrough. He isn't a complete piece of shit though. In the final mission of the game, he will immediately stand up to Knight Commander Meredith to defend you. Fenris is also a two-handed warrior, who has some magic power due to the lyrium burned in his body by his former master, which also destroyed his memories from before. He basically looks like somebody who escaped the Weapon X program and decided to dress like a dark seducer from the Shivering Isles. He is the most staunchly pro-Templar follower in the game, which makes sense given that he was a slave in a country ruled by mages and had magical experiments performed on him, and it makes him a good ideological counterbalance to Anders in your party. At least the two of them can agree on hating Meryl. He has knowledge of the Qun that gives him a bunch of unique dialogue with the Arishok in Act 2, and his personal questline ends in his sister betraying him to his former master, at which point you can either kill them and ensure his freedom, or you can sell him back to his former master and obviously lose him as a party member. Though I've never personally played an evil enough character in this game to go through with that. Doing his quest also allows you to free another slave who you can hire as a paid maid who will move into your mansion, much like Bodan and Sandal, which is a neat added bonus. Fenris is also a romance option, and I must say that while this game has some of my favorite characters in the series, it also has my least favorite romance options when compared to Origins and Inquisition, and I think there are two reasons for that. Firstly, all four of the characters who are romanceable in the base game are available to any Hawk, which is fine, but I like how in Inquisition, for instance, most of the romance options have gender and or race preferences, and will reject a player character that they aren't attracted to. And I think that when you can't do everything with one type of character, it encourages replayability. And the fact that characters have sexuality as part of their identity in that game feels a lot more organic, and less like every NPC is just programmed to have an unconditional willingness to fuck the player. Second reason is pretty straightforward. Dating any of these people sounds like a terrible idea. Your options are an abomination tainted with the Blight, a blood mage, a pirate who still fucks her husband's killer, and Mr. I Hate Mages, who needs a therapist way more than he needs a partner. In Origins, Zevran and Morrigan had major red flags, but at least Leliana and Alistair seem mostly normal. Hawk just doesn't attract the normies, I guess.
So this is the DLC Legacy, in which we originally go to investigate Carter dwarfs trying to kill us, but end up dealing with far bigger problems than that. We end up deep underground where there are loads of darkspawn, and there is evidence that our father has actually been here long ago. We also meet a Grey Warden who is here for the calling, which is basically when the taint has gone too far, and their mind is lost and they are sent here to die. But strangely enough, this guy isn't dead, just a bit nutty, and honestly, I wouldn't mind him so much if he wasn't as nutty, which I know isn't his fault, but he keeps showing up, saying vague shit, and leaving, over and over again, to the point where, when he shows up, I kinda just tell him to shut up and leave. When I was playing this, I was also playing Middle-earth at the same time, and Gollum from Middle-earth plays kinda the same role. He fucking talks you to death while saying a lot of nothing and being crazy and annoying. And if you make me deal with a crazy character who won't stop saying nonsense, please make it sparingly, otherwise it feels like a constant waste of my time. I'm here, trying to figure out all this shit with my father and what's going on. Meanwhile, I got Grey Warden Gollum yapping at me saying, "You're the key, you are the key, key is you, you aren't him, but you have him in you, and that him is key, and you can unlock thing because you are key. Thing is bad, bad destroy, being key." Like, Jesus, man, shut the fuck up. I do learn some stuff through these nauseatingly awful conversations, but mainly I learn stuff by listening to the echoes of my father. It sounds like long ago there were Darkspawn who could talk, kinda like the architect from Awakening. One of these Darkspawn was named Corypheus, and he was imprisoned using powerful blood magic. He was very dangerous, and over the years his seals began to break. So our father, who really didn't want to but didn't have a choice, had to use blood magic to once again strengthen the seals to hold Corypheus. Corypheus, while being trapped, is reaching out to wardens, trying to get himself freed, claiming he can help with stopping the blights from happening. But Crazy Golem Man is saying we should free him and kill him, and that only we can do it because we got our dad's blood. And this is one of the few instances I think of where the crazy guy is actually speaking the truth. He just happens to be crazy while doing it. The only other crazy guys off the top of my head that are actually truthful are the guy in the streets of the Knights of the Nine quest in Oblivion and Yoda in Empire Strikes Back. I know he's trying to be helpful, and I need to cut him some slack, but Jesus, my man is annoying to me. I also completely understand why other wardens are trying to free him, as they want the blights to end for good. But this guy's not gonna do that. You're gonna listen to this weird talking Darkspawn who we had to lock away because he was too powerful and evil? You think he's gonna end the blights? Regardless, we do free him, only to end him. And upon releasing him, he is very confused as he has been trapped for hundreds of years. Some of the things he says are actually really interesting lore-wise about the gods and the Gold City, but this video is long enough and I don't think it's really relevant to what I'm saying, so point is he is evil and we gotta take him down. Now this is one of the worst boss fights ever. I fucking hated it. Basically, you fight him, which is fine. Then he has a fire phase where you can't hurt him and he just spins around using fire and other various powers. During which, you must one by one touch a stone golem and fight off the enemies it creates. Your allies are not designed to deal with this and can easily be killed by the fire. Even if you revive them, you may have to switch to them to get them to move away from the danger. And the second you move away, the other followers will too, so you gotta switch and move fast. And this is a hard fight. If you don't bring Anders who can heal and resurrect characters, then Maker have mercy on your soul. I don't know how you're gonna survive. But even if you do have Anders, the fight is still hard. But not good hard. Hard because the AI was not programmed to fight like this at all. Or to, avoid damage. Hiding in the very far corners and changing my allies' tactics to follow me seemed to be the only way to keep them alive. And then, there is no saving. And the fight is very long and very tedious, and you repeat the same steps over and over, knowing that if you fuck up, you have to start all the way back over. It took me 37 minutes to kill him. That's what a long, tedious fight this is. You just do the same steps over and over for 37 minutes. It's not fun, it's just tedious. Imagine dying at 30 minutes and having to do it all over again. No fucking way. I hate this boss fight enough that if I go back and play 2, I probably won't play the DLC again. Even though this is a very important DLC, because this is the main villain of the next game. After killing Corypheus, we go talk to the old Golem Warden guy, and he's talking normal again now. Except for he's doing weird little things that I think are supposed to indicate Corypheus is inside him. And apparently Cassandra said she never found that guy, so I'm assuming Corypheus escaped through him. We do get a little nice talk with Bethany and a vision from our mother, though, to end the game.
It gets harder every year to remember what Father was like.
I thought he knew everything. You know, as much as he had to spend time training me, he was so proud of you and Carver, his little soldiers. What he'd think now, I don't know.
I'd have loved to talk to Mother about this. About Father.
I still can't believe she's gone. I wish... Well, perhaps it doesn't matter. Thank you for taking care of everything, brother.
Malcolm would be happy you two aren't at each other's throats. Not all the time. He sacrificed so we would have a life free to choose. Must have been a terrible burden. Much like the burden you've assumed.
I do what I can. Sometimes it doesn't seem like enough.
You know, your father tried to help people the same way. Tried to fix trouble he saw in others.
The best of him is still with you. The best of all of us. It's what makes you try so hard. You will always have that. We will always be family. It'll be all right.